Okay, guys, back with you on this first. What is it? Thursday, the 1st of August. So, never a dull moment, right? So, it's amazing. As I just recorded the S&P, 5 minutes after I finished recording it, of course, Trump. All it takes is a Trump tweet, and the market completely reverses. Now we have even more chaos and more volatility in the FX market. So, as you guys were, in the polling, you wanted me to look at some FX picks here. I thought we'd just kind of go through this a little bit here and just see where we are and where there may be some opportunities here. So now this is today, right? So here we start August. Do you see? If I can get a straight line here. Here's today, right? So look at this. Let's put this down here. Come on, stop. There we go. All right, so look at what we've done today. So after yesterday with the Fed announcement here, we have the dollar screaming. Then look at the dollar today, right? So now we get this Trump from tweet and the trade deal is broken down, and all the ramifications of that. If you think about it, it actually doesn't surprise me, right? What does Trump want? He wants lower rates. What better way to get lower rates than fuck with the FX market, which is what he's doing. So look what's happening here. So here goes the yen, here goes the dollar. Right? So you can just start looking here at the extremes. So we'll look at the yen here, but take a look at the Aussie. Do you see what's happening here as we cross? So here they cross. Here's the yen ripping higher and the Aussie just dropping like a stone here. So I'm looking, that's just what I want to see. So let me see if I can find a spot. Well, you get the basic idea. So it's coming back here. So you look here, that was the euro to the pound here. As we get to these extremes, it's a reversion to the mean kind of thinking here. From that extreme, I'm looking for those two to come back and eventually meet, which they do here, right? Now then they go the other direction. So with that extreme, right, I can see. So I definitely want to go look there. So, oh shit, where did I put it here? So here's the Aussie dollar. So you can see this is the reaction right after Trump tweets that. Right, so it's just free fall. So you look there and you go, oh shit, all right, so some algo's having a field day. What are they using here? So the first thing, so you start looking for pivots as to what they could be using, and it looks like this is what they did here. So we're just tagging the target here. So it's a secondary pivot. Now it's likely tied to the pivot above it, which is how you can start looking here. Say, well, did they use that? Well, this third target, it's hard to say which one did they use this. So I always start here. Now there's golden zone to the tick. I think we've been through some of these before. But here it's too far, so you've got to look for a secondary pivot. So this one, well, let's just take that off here. So I go here and I spot it, but it's usually a function of being used in a prior. They're 38, maybe too small. Well, either way, it looks like they've used it. As we work from this pivot to this pivot, right? So it's to the tick. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't get through and head to second target, but then I'd start looking. This is an area I'd start looking for some either trend continuation. So are we going to come up here and make a technical retracement after hitting that algo target? This is a logical place where you might expect some resistance. Sorry, guys. And then head back down again. So as we come down here, RSI gets pinned. Now we have increasing sell volume here. We'll have to see. It's be interesting to see how this settles. But just a fairly decent example of how you can look for where the extremes are, and then can we anticipate any reversion to the mean? Well, we can also see now where at the extreme as the yen screams here and the dollar collapses. Well, of course, it makes you want to go look over here. Now this at the dollar yen. Let's come here first. Let's look at the dollar at the U.S. dollar index here, because this is a bit challenging here, whether you're looking at it with your Elliott hat on or not. So as we look here, it's fairly hard to miss that 5 going up here, but then even easier to spot is the 5 coming down. So if you're looking here from the what is that, the 011 to 011, so there's your 5-year trend of the dollar index ripping higher, and then as we start this correction process, well, it's hard to argue with the idea, right? Assuming we're thinking of this with our Elliott hats on, that we're some sort of an ABC is going in here. The problem is we're getting mixed signals here. This 5, I don't think there's any dispute. We have an impulse there. So, but what does that imply? So per Elliott Wave rule set, and just our thinking about understanding how corrections move, this is much more likely that we've just got an A wave here, right? So some sort of a B's got to go in before we get. I'll just put them down here. Right. So with 5 down. Now the mixed signal here is that this also looks like we've got. Yeah, it is an impulse, right? So let me dig in here. This is a little tricky. So. I can get the 1, 2 is, again, I'm on a daily here, so while that looks small, it's bigger than it appears. The 1, 2, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's pretty solid. The ABC for the 4, it's a little skinny from the 2 to the 3. All right, but so we're in between the 2338 Vegas wave. Remember, Vegas wave came out of FX trading, so tags it perfectly, tags it, boom, boom, boom. Now we get a little break here, interestingly, but looks like this is a function of what happened yesterday. So looking at the entire thing moving from the high to the low, because I can complete a 5 here. Well, now I'm getting mixed signals. So am I not done? Well, let me go down to a 4-hour here and take a look. Right, this is a bit confusing here. So what would you conclude? Because I can finish my 5 up here. Here, let's take that up a degree. I can finish that 5. So if you're thinking, oh, okay, well I had 5 down, now I got 5 up, so maybe I've got another A wave here. The challenge we're going to run into here is that I've got it clear as a bell. I got another 5 here. Oh shit, wrong one. Right, so I can't just go, oh, that's really inconvenient there. So it's a diagonal, right? We get a deep overlap, but that sure as hell is a 5. Well, shit. All right, I suppose you could do it this way. All right. So we could have an ABC. All right, let's consider that, right? So you see the 3, 4 is there. The 5 is not ideal, but then we get it with, well, that's a 4-hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. Here, we maybe adjust this on the fly. So 3, 4, you'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get that. So I can actually finish that 5 there. So there's an A, B, got to do it that way, B, and we got to, looks like we finish here. Pretty much of a free fall. So where does that leave us? Well, we're getting kind of some mixed signals here. So if this is ABC and now we're going up here, well, 1, 2, 3, yeah, looks like. Let's take a look here. All right, so it looks like I can get the 1, 2 here pretty easily. That looks pretty good. Now a little funky on the C wave here, but let's put that. Got to put that somewhere. Did I just finish something? Ah, fuck. Come here. Did I just finish something here? It would be an impulse. Oh boy. You just got to go with it there. So here I'd look, since given the depth of it, I'd look for the 1 through the 3. There's the 50. We've blown through second target here. So that's really the only retracement you have to work with here that would give you any depth. So algo's just killing it there. All right. So where are we now? So I've got an ABC here. Jesus, can I finish that? Yeah. Yeah, I'm just pondering. Let's just measure here. If we could look at this. That's the 2. Right, so here's the, man, you could do it. I'll be damned. Here, let's just, sometimes you can just catch these on the fly here. So if that completes there, which is not unrealistic, right? That's doable. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still on an hourly. 1, 2. Let's wick off the 1. ABC, looks like I can go A, B, C here again. So let's go A, B. Now, am I done here? Maybe. Let's put that, go to blue on that. All right, where the hell am I? All right, so you gotta pull out now. Let's go to a 4-hour and see if we can make sense here. All right, so if that one is, if we're done here, and I got something unusual happening here. So WX, so reasonable, right? We could think here. Okay, I've got a W, potentially an X coming down for the Y. Not unreasonable, right? That would fit, right? For the X to, it can go that far. You'd want to be paying attention to how far that's gone. So if we take the length of this move here, let's change our template here. So there's the 1272. This is about as far as I'd give that. That's not uncommon for an X wave here. So we get something like that. sure does imply lower prices. So you look at that and you go, wait a minute, right? I'm just looking at that thing over here. That's screaming. But remember, the idea is we're looking for extremes, right? So is this extreme enough? Well, the dollar is really just here at the 50. It's the yen that's ripping. What it's most extreme to is the Aussie dollar. So so we've got quite a spread. If I just connecting the two, I've got that spread between the yen and the dollar. It's the yen that's really ripping here, and that's up in the nosebleed section here. Can it stay there? Sure, it can. Can stay up here, but the anticipation would be you'd be looking for the correction. So as I come back to let's see, we'll get over to the yen in a second. So if this is going to correct itself and we're going to head down for a Y, what's the other alternate, right? So perhaps we could this stays as an impulse. All right, so we would go here. If we retrace here from the 2 to the wrong one. Here, let me get that back. Okay, if we retrace from this pivot to this pivot here, maybe you could rethink this and go, oh, okay, maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 going. So I'd be watching here for any sort of a retracement, right? Remember, Trump is after a weaker dollar and lower rates, right? So which is counterintuitive, right? Normally you'd think, oh, weaker dollar, well then lower rates, weaker dollar, but it's all relative to what your choices are across the globe. So can he get what he's after here? I'm probably confusing you here with these colors. Well, right, this is the conflict of the market. Is the market's trying to anticipate, is this possible here? Can we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Well, until is it long? Let's just check that here. I know I'm jumping around a little bit here, but this is how you think through analysis here. So I've got the upper side target here, so I didn't quite get the full 3 here. Now, if this has another leg, and you see where I am up here, here's your high probability zone for the wave 3, and if this is going to come down and go again, and we're going to get up here into this 3, then I might, I'd still keep the X as a contender here, and then watch and see if we come down here, do we get this, and then go up for the 5. So right now, given the volatility, when it's moving like this, unless you're day trading and you were positioned to catch some of this, I think you got to be a little cautious here. Let some of the volatility settle out of the market here. Right now, you've got now the market is, we've now just blown through the lows of yesterday. Gold is on an absolute tear. So you've just got a bit of chaos as the market is trying to, you've got the combination of traders trying to figure out what's going on. You got algorithms reacting to every, God knows how many algorithms are tied to Trump's Twitter feed. You've got all of this confusion in the market and traders just trying to make sense of it. Sometimes when you have this kind of volatility, the best place to be is out of the market. Let it settle down. This is, you can get hurt in this kind of environment here. So looking at what's happening right now with the yen at this extreme, I kind of want to watch the yen. Oh, let's see. Let's come back here to the yen. I'm kind of watching the yen. This is a tough one. This is an interesting one, and this is where the Elliott can be keeping you out of a bad trade. It can be useful to you. So as you look here, when you're first looking at this, when this was developing, it was really well. Here, let me take this off. Right, what you can see, it's really hard to miss this. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looked like we were going down for the perfect 5. Right, so pardon me. 1, 2 here, right? That's what I want. So I wanted to show you here that this is, you cannot call this anything other than an impulse, right? That is just clear as a bell. That's a 5 within a 5 within a 5. That is an impulsive structure right there. Okay, so it's a clear impulse, right? We don't threaten the 1. So what do we do with it? So you were thinking as this is coming down, I know I was, as this is coming here, now you get 1, 2, beautiful impulse into the 3, A, B, C into the 4. Oh, look at that. How convenient. Thank you, Mr. Market. Now, right, the surprise from the Fed yesterday and the reaction in currencies as they tried to parse his words. Well, all of a sudden, you got a failure here. So you got to look at it and go, is that a truncated 5? What now? So we go up and now, right, it's just a cluster in here. So what do you do with this now? Right? Are you going to call it a truncated 5? Right. Well, this right? That wouldn't quite work here as well. So you got to rethink your trade, because this was absolutely textbook, like it could not have been any better. Now, to complicate things, right? So look at this here. If we take the length of the 3, right? So you came right here, held it right in between, and you're thinking, okay, there it is. I'm right where I'm looking for it. I don't overlap the 1. Down we go. I'm going to that target, right? That was very hard to miss the potential setup there. Right, but what do we do with this? Well, now note, first thing to take note, look where it goes yesterday. Right, algos, right? They dominate. That's what moves the market here. Well, I shouldn't say that. When the markets move, these are the levels where you can expect the algos to participate, right? So it goes right up to the golden zone. Note, not the 618, into the golden zone, and then look at that reaction. So is that an algorithm? Is that Trump? What is it? Well, what it is gives me a technical pivot, and it blows up this count. So now I can't be looking at this as thinking, oh, wait a minute, right? Something else has to be going on here, because I've just invalidated that count, right? Because the impulse here means that I cannot have this. I can't, if you want to apply Elliott rule set, I can't have the overlap here. This perfect, this disqualified. So what's the alternate? Well, I don't want to lose that impulse. So I've only got a few things to choose from. So first thing I want to check is the length of this swing. Do I have anything here to help me here? Well, certainly. So it's longer than this. So that was part of what was leading you into the idea that we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It couldn't have been any prettier. So I can't just discard that impulse, right? I got to use it somehow, right? It's part of something, right? So here's the alternate, ABC. Right, it actually fits a little bit better because we didn't get the deep dive, the push to the 1618, 175 here. It came up a little short. Not that it must to call it a 3, but that would have had you a little bit more confident in that. So now we look here and we go, oh, well, okay, what am I doing with that? Well, that is just another ABC. So what do we do with all this? Well, this is where you can say, all right, fuck the Elliott Wave, right? So what do I see here, right? So I came right to the golden zone, so the odds are that this is a pretty reasonable target to have here. Well, if that comes down, how am I going to quantify this? What have I got here? If I've got ABC, what am I starting here? Well, so your first thought might be, oh, okay, maybe it's a WXY. So here's a W. Well, that's kind of skinny for an X, but maybe so I'd be looking for an ABC. All right, so now I'm rethinking it in the labeling. So in terms of what I'm anticipating, or what you as a trader or as members here trying to get a trade plan put together on this, what draws you to this is this, right? That's why you're looking over here. So as you come back here and go, well, wait a minute, if that's gonna, so remember, this is as it goes down, it's the yen increasing and the dollar decreasing. So if this is gonna keep going down, if the dollar's gonna get weaker, well, that's going to have ramifications across the globe in all sorts of markets. This is what Trump is after, right? A weaker dollar. Right. So how are you gonna the next move from the Fed is really going to be significant. But back to where we're looking here, we're looking for an ABC, something like this now, because of the way the count has been reshaped per the reaction to yesterday as well as the reaction today. So, approach with caution, but at the very least, I sure as hell want to be looking for that next retracement. Yeah. So, are we going to stall down here? Well, it's not unreasonable to think that we might. Here's some prior support down here, coming back to retest it. Now, remember here, you've got this is a complete air pocket here. We've got no support here, right? There is nothing. Well, we've got. You do have this that's been building a base here, but if we get below this, there's nothing there, right? You can see it over here. There is no support to hold this. So if the trade that I'm looking for now is I want a retrace here. So there's point of control right here. So something like that. Oh yeah, please set that up for me. Please set that up for me. So first we need to get a pivot down here. Well, we're through, right? Because of the depth of this wick. We already know we're through on this side, right? So we're through the 65 on this side. So we have no, well, interesting. Let's get this right here. Look where we're sitting right now. We've gone, do I have it right on? Yep, okay, so another break of the 65, right? So we're losing the buy side algo here. So what's the next, so think about the buy side algo. What's the next thing they're gonna do? They're gonna take the next 50, so let's put that together. Again, we don't have to wonder, we just know what they do. So from swing high to swing low, and I don't know that that's the pivot, right? That could keep going tonight. We don't know what's gonna happen there. But when this, eventually, when we get this pivot, right, if I can come back up here in 3, oh, I'm definitely there. Looking for it, right? So what could we put some more geometry on this? Well, sure, we've got 3 pivots. We can always put some median lines on it. Just get it right there. Let me get that dialed in. Now take note here. What do I have? What additionally? Well, you got 2 things here. So you've got this. You've got, here, let me pull this off. You got a golden corner right here. All right, so here to here. Right, golden corner pocket, right? Almost realized. So you're looking for where's my target down here? Well, this has not gotten there yet. So we have 80% probability of making that median line. We're not there yet. Could it be down here? We don't know, but we know it's 80%. So I'd be surprised if we can get there in the relatively near term. Right, so again, because look left, right? There's nothing there. There's no support there. We're at the really right on the edge of it here. So this could easily fall. This could go. Shit, if this is really going to start to accelerate here, here's your second target and the lower parallel. Now we get a couple of pivots you can consider. I use this because I know this is technical. We could just keep going, right? So what is that going to mean over here? That this is going to keep going, and then now the dollar is going to start to accelerate this way, right? Then we're getting to an extreme, and that's what you're looking for over here. You want to try and trade those extremes where you get that complete, well, you can just look back through historically, right? See, they very commonly, right now here, this is a 1-hour chart, very commonly you'll see them revert to the mean, right? So you get to the extreme, right, the market corrects itself. So as I'm looking here, at some point here, this is going to start to come back towards 0. That is what sets up this trade, right, whenever we get it. Right, assuming we come down here, we get a pivot down here, the next trade will be the retrace. So let's just use the pivot here. It's this one I want. That's the one I want. Right, so I would be, this could take 2 weeks for that to happen. Right? It could happen tomorrow. You just don't know. So I sure as hell would be watching this. So just look here at point of control. So now granted, it's visible range, I understand, but I want to know if we get a pivot here and we start to retrace, now I'm on a 3-hour, I want to see some decent subdivision here. I want to see a nice clear 3. But if I get that, oh man, so this is one to absolutely have on your radar, looking for that. So if we start the retrace, that means that these two are coming back towards 0, and that sets up this, which would push it back down, which means back here, the yen, so you'd be anticipating this kind of move. The yen's gonna come, oh fuck, can I draw down here? Yeah, I can. The yen's gonna come down to 0 and then go back up. That's what you're looking for. Right, so one to watch, but this is always a good place to go if you're looking at, I check this every day, first thing I always do, right? What's happening in the FX market? Do I have any extremes? Here's an extreme, right, as I was showing you earlier. So here's from the pound to the euro, right there. They go to that extreme. Now look what's happening here. Do you see what they're doing now? They're coming back towards 0. So here's the pound, here's the euro, right? As they try to, they're kind of trying to get back. This one's coming up. They're headed towards 0. Now, do they go the opposite direction? Right, it's always playing for those extremes, so you can kind of see the trade, how it could set up. Right, yen comes back, dollar keeps going down. We come back to 0. That sets up this move here, back to the point of control. The lower parallel brings you right here. Doesn't have to be the first algo target, but I'd certainly take a partial there. You could have lower here, because remember, what are we looking for here? If that's an X wave, we're looking for an A, B, C. All right, guys, man, I was long-winded today, but there's a lot to chew on with what's going on in the markets. All right, there we go. So hopefully not another tweet 5 minutes after I finish this one. Okay, guys, talk to you later.